Since June 1st, 1999, 20 years ago, the OSCE Project Co-ordinator in Ukraine, hand in hand with its Ukrainian partners, has been supporting the country in adapting to the requirements of a modern democracy that respects human rights, supporting transformations, facilitating dialogue, working with central authorities and reaching out to the regions, reviewing laws and providing policy advice, offering trainings and delivering equipment, promoting best practices and international experience. These 20 years present a history of joint achievements where Ukraine used OSCE support to reform and to meet challenges. A digital register created with OSCE support safely stores the data of more than 35 million Ukrainian voters, enabling accurate voter lists on election day, with people able to change their place of voting if needed. Thousands of commissioners administering polling stations on the ground use a flexible online training system that provides them the necessary information to fairly administer elections. To promote good governance, the OSCE helped digitize a range of administrative services, both locally and nationally. Millions of Ukrainians now go online for construction, land management, and environmental services, cutting red tape and reducing corruption risk. With the government's recently introduced digital by default policy, Ukraine has committed to further progress in e-governance. Trainings, research, and pilot efforts have helped civil society organizations enhance their sustainability and to increase partnership with the government for the benefit of society. Civic activists are now empowered with skills, methodology, and knowledge to monitor courts and promote high standards of justice. Together with the Ombudsman, activists are also now monitoring detention facilities to prevent torture and ill treatment of detainees. The OSCE has been promoting human rights education in schools and universities and among professionals. New courses for judges help promote international human rights instruments, with Ukrainian judges increasingly citing the European Convention of Human Rights and the Strasbourg Court precedents in their decisions. The OSCE supports judicial reform through dialogue among stakeholders and by providing expertise. A new tool of constitutional complaint was introduced, allowing citizens to defend their rights before the top judicial authority in the country, the Constitutional Court. When the country launched large-scale police reform, the OSCE provided trainings to thousands of new patrol police officers. Special attention is given to combating domestic violence, with the OSCE supporting modern laws and regulations and training for law enforcement officers, psychologists, and civil society to help victims and deal with perpetrators. To protect Ukrainians from online crime, the cyber police were trained and launched with OSCE support. Millions of Ukrainians have learned about risks related to trafficking in human beings from OSCE awareness-raising campaigns. Comprehensive legislation protects victims, and a public-private network called the National Referral Mechanism combats trafficking and helps victims throughout the country. To enhance social cohesion, hundreds of Ukrainians were trained in the skills needed to organize dialogues on urgent and conflict-prone issues. Dialogue meetings provided a safe space for conflict-affected communities to discuss burning issues with the government, and authorities are increasingly using dialogue as a tool to prevent or diffuse tensions in various spheres, from nationwide reforms to minority relations. Balanced and professional journalism is essential for people in a crisis environment, so the coordinator provided training to journalists on standards and media ethics and provided a dialogue platform for the media community to discuss challenges of working in a conflict situation. To address landmines and other explosive remnants of war, Ukraine is developing a policy and legal framework for large-area, long-term humanitarian demining. A national law and national mine action standards have already been introduced with OSCE policy advice. Demining agencies coordinate and plan their operations with a special data management system and equipment provided by the OSCE. Environmental security is another challenge posed by the conflict in the heavily industrialized Donbas region. The coordinator helped establish an environmental monitoring system, including advanced water quality monitoring. For better chemical safety and security throughout the country, new regulations are being developed, border guards trained, and equipment to mitigate risks and respond to incidents is being provided. The State Border Guard Service also uses risk and criminal analysis systems to stop terrorism and organized crime at the country's borders. 20 years working together for democracy, human rights, rule of law, and security